Hello everyone, and welcome to my EastEnders Media News channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The cherished Yolande Trueman, who made a comeback to EastEnders last year, was thrust into a devastating sexual assault ordeal last week, leaving viewers in tears. The long-running BBC One program revisited the difficult subject of rape and sexual assault after taking on the subject through Linda Carter, Ben Mitchell, Little Emo Slater, and even Kathy Beale. Yolande was attacked by newcomer Pastor Gideon Clayton, played by Howard Sadler, in an hour-long episode that aired on April 17th. When the plot of the London-based drama was originally revealed, viewers were terrified, but they were eventually won over by the dramatic episode and the moving performance of Angela Winter, who is a fan favorite. Social media was flooded with compliments for soap opera star and author Lauren Klee, who is credited with helping to tell powerful stories about the drama, such as Linda's rape and Jean Slater's bipolar illness. Some viewers pointed out that Yolande's feelings accurately captured the agony that follows an abuse victimization. Remember, rape and other sexual abuse are incredibly prevalent acts of violence against women, with 1 in 5 women in the UK having experienced some form of it. Scary looking real. Yolande was severely rattled up after her attack, which happened during a fundraiser she was planning at the neighborhood church. She was unable to comprehend what had happened hours before. She sought solace in the laundry room after stifling her own tears, wallowing in her suffering, and meandering through the square. With the help of Elaine Peacock, Harriet Thorpe, she was able to articulate her mounting anguish by describing how she had dissociated during her attack, a sentiment that is echoed by numerous off-screen rape and sexual assault survivors. While his hand was on me, I was staring down at the ceiling to see what was happening to me. She sobbed. I feel like I'm still there, and both men and women who have experienced a similar assault could relate to what she was saying. As a rape survivor, one courageous ex-user wrote, I loved every minute of Angela Winter's portrayal of Yolande in tonight's #EastEnders. The actual, dangerously real feelings of guilt, fear, alienation, and revulsion. Fantastic writing. Another wrote, watching Yolande's reaction this evening is exactly the reaction I had in October 2017. Making reference to their own trauma. Everyone else's life continued, but my long-kept secret would continually surface. Yolande's mixture of remorse, suffering, and agony at not being believed struck Wilma, whose name has been altered to protect her identity, as a harsh reminder that the effects of rape can endure a lifetime. To not be defined by it, Wilma withheld the specifics of her own attack, but she did say to Mirror Online, I died that day. Although I was fortunate to receive the help I needed to get over that trauma, many are unaware of the long-term effects of sexual assault. After the attack, she talked about having panic attacks and night terrors in the initial months, which she still has sometimes with the support of therapy. I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder and will probably struggle with it for the rest of my life. As a survivor, I have worked with my own therapist for a number of years, but I still find it difficult to deal with reminders of my own attacks. In her book The Betrayal Bind, author Michelle Mays, a licensed professional counselor with experience in addressing sexual trauma, described the psychological fallout from sexual assault, noting that victims may exhibit symptoms such as freezing, avoidance, hypervigilance, flashbacks, or intrusive thoughts. Further mental health conditions like depression, addiction, attachment disorders, and even infertility might result from them. Following her rape, Wilma described a very scary time in her life. I was pushing everyone away because I was afraid they would hurt me, and because I couldn't sleep, I turned to all the substances I could. I almost lost my job. Wilma credits her boyfriend and therapist, Theo, her healing from her trauma. She is now engaged. I couldn't reconstruct myself until I came to terms with what had happened to me. I went away and met Theo when I initially settled into my new home in Leeds because I had to acknowledge that I had been a victim even though I was surrounded by people who would never have considered me to be a victim. However, Wilma still had a long way to go, so the relationship was challenging in the beginning. It's hard to love someone after you've been attacked by a man you thought you knew. You'll always be cautious. I'm just appreciative that he showed patience. Even worse, some victims, like Yolande, blame themselves for attacking them and letting their attacker approach them. This puts survivors on the defensive since it's difficult for them to accept the truth that they were never at fault. The enduring cost of impunity. However, Yolande's attack brought attention to another problem that still exists in our society, which the #MeToo movement has been working so hard to address since 2017. This is because certain activists, like Tarana Burke, who came up with the term 10 years before Alyssa Milano, were not given enough credit. She recalled Pastor Clayton's deplorable past before Albert Square, revisiting his horrifying past as she watched multiple women come to terms with their own assaults. Between 2008 and 2024, a series of accounts surfaced exposing Pastor Clayton's predatory actions, which were only eased by the people the survivors confided in. For instance, Sarah was astounded to hear that she was told to keep her counsel before finding that the pastor was simply going to be moved to a different church without even consulting anyone in a position of power. The last straw was when Sarah was subtly accused of fabricating the entire attack since it was hinted that she was open-minded. Yolande, who also talked about how predators groom their prey to get closer to them before striking, was silenced, just like the other women Pastor Clayton targeted, in addition to being taken advantage of by a man she admired, underscoring the power disparity between them. Fiction honored reality once more. According to London legal company Saunders Law, of the 70,330 rape complaints that the police documented in 2021 and 2022, just 1,378 resulted in a conviction, less than 2%. A table from the Charity Rape Crisis shows that as of July 2023, 2,210 adult rape cases and 8,741 sexual offense cases were awaiting court proceedings. However, only a small percentage of these cases are ultimately heard. Because of the depressing statistics, some survivors have come to terms with the fact that they will never receive justice. "I never reported my aggressor," Wilma said to us. "I know he will never be in jail, not because I'm afraid of him. He is intelligent and has always performed well in college. After what he did to me, I left school because I didn't think I would survive."